Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today's class is a runner's yoga class. So this class is designed to lengthen and stretch muscles that become tight with repetitive running. So we're going to begin our class with a quick shavasana. So just coming onto your back, allowing the feet to fall open how they naturally fall, just releasing any tension within the muscles, within the face. Rolling the shoulders away from the ears, and we're going to take 10 full belly breaths here. Just beginning to inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Giving yourself a chance to really settle into your mat, bringing the focus inward and allowing yourself to relax and unwind before we begin any movement in today's class. Taking a deep inhale, filling up the belly, the ribs, and the chest. And exhale from the chest, the ribs, and the belly. We'll use our breath to guide us through today's class. And we'll begin to wiggle our fingers and our toes, rolling wrists and ankles. And taking a deep inhale, sweeping the arms up overhead, pointing the toes, taking a nice full body stretch here. And we'll release with an exhale. We're going to inhale, right knee into the chest, wrapping our hands around the shins, keeping the foot flexed. We'll begin to roll the ankle in one direction 5 times, nice and slow. Getting any creaks and pops out of the joint. And we'll rotate in the opposite direction. Taking an inhale, we'll open the knee out to the right side and exhale back to center. Inhale to open and exhale back to center. We'll inhale to open, exhale center, inhale to open, and exhale back to center. Bring our hand behind the thigh. We'll inhale with a bent knee and exhale to extend the foot to the sky. Keeping a bend into the knee if our hamstring and the back of our leg is tight today. And if we do experience any pinching or pulling in the lower back, you could plant the left foot onto the mat with a bent knee. Just finding our breath here. We're going to inhale to flex the toes towards the face and exhale to point towards the ceiling. Inhale to flex and exhale to point. 3 more times. We'll inhale, flex, exhale, point. Inhale to flex the foot and exhale to point the toes. Last one, we'll inhale and exhale, point. Inhale, flex the toes, and exhale, release right foot down to meet the left. Bringing that to the other side, we'll inhale, left knee into the chest, wrapping our hands around the shin, and we'll rotate that left ankle 5 times in one direction. Just getting those creaks and pops out on this side. And we'll rotate in the opposite direction. And from here, we're going to bring that movement into that left hip. So with our next inhale, we'll open the knee out to the left side and exhale back to center. We'll inhale to open and exhale center. Inhale, opening that knee out and exhale coming back. One more round. We'll inhale to open and exhale center. So we'll bring our hands behind that left thigh now. And we'll inhale with a bent knee and exhale to extend the left foot towards the sky. So again, remembering, just noticing how this feels for our body. We can keep a bend into that left knee if we are feeling tight. Again, option to bring that right foot onto the mat. And we'll find that movement here with our left foot. So taking an inhale to flex and exhale to point. We'll inhale, flex the toes, and exhale, point towards the sky. 3 more. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale to flex and exhale to point. Last one, we'll inhale, exhale, point. We'll inhale to flex and exhale to release. Left foot meets the right. Taking a moment here before we bring both feet onto the mat. We're going to plant the feet hip distance apart. Inhale, right ankle over left thigh for our reclined pigeon. So option to keep that left foot planted, just opening the right knee towards the top of the mat. So we're opening the hip. Or if we have the space, we'll bring that left knee into the chest and wrap the hands around the thigh. Keeping both feet flexed, we'll find our breath. Just releasing any tension in the face. Noticing if we're clenching our jaw, we'll release. And with our next exhale, released. From here, we're going to cross that right knee completely over the left, stacking the knees. We'll bring our knees towards the chest and reach the left hand for the right foot and the right hand for the left foot, bringing the feet towards our body. So this is reclined cow face pose. So again, we want to make sure that our knees are stacking and we're almost pressing out against our hands with the feet. So we're almost creating a little resistance here. Just holding here, remembering to find our breath and breathe. And exhale to release, keeping our legs crossed, knees stacked. We're going to shift the hips to the right on an inhale, and exhale, allow the knees to fall to the left. Our arms are in a cactus position, so we're finding a reclined twist here. And if we have the space within the body, if it feels okay, we could bring the gaze over the right shoulder. Finding some nice, deep, beautiful breaths here. And coming back to center. We'll uncross the legs and show that same love to the opposite side. So inhale, left ankle over right thigh for that reclined pigeon. So we can press that left knee open and keep the foot flexed, staying here. Or we can always bring the right knee towards the chest, wrapping our hands around that right thigh, pulling the knee towards the chest to go a little deeper. So we do want to keep both feet flexed here in this pose, and we'll just breathe. Relaxing the face, the jaw, closing down the eyes. Taking one last inhale. And with that next exhale, we're going to release the feet down onto the mat, crossing that left leg completely over the right, stacking the knees. We're going to bring the knees towards the chest, reaching the right hand for the left foot and the left hand for the right foot, pulling the feet towards the body for our reclined cow face pose. So again, as we pull the feet into the body, we almost want to press out with the feet at the same time, so we create that resistance. We're going to find our beautiful breath here and just release the face, release that tension. And with our exhale, we'll release, keeping the legs crossed and knees stacked. We're going to shift the hips over to the left side of the mat with an inhale. And as we exhale, let the knees fall to the right, finding that reclined twist. So if it feels okay, we could bring the gaze over the left shoulder and find a few breaths here. And with our exhale, we'll come back to center, readjust the spine, uncross the legs, and bring the knees into the chest, wrapping our hands around the shin and rocking side to side. Massaging the low back. And when we're ready, we'll bring our hands behind the thighs, roll up and down the length of the mat, 3 to 5 times, rolling up and into a seated position with the legs extended. So we're going to get ready for a seated forward fold, taking any flesh out from underneath the sit bones. Nice tall spine, toes are flexing towards the body. We're going to inhale, lengthen the spine, and as we exhale, walk the hands down alongside the legs to fold forward. So we're really hinging at the hips here. Our hands could be to the ankles, to the mat, to the big toes, but we're really pressing forward, trying to reach the crown of the head forward and keeping a nice flat spine. With every exhale, we'll fold just a little deeper, feeling that nice stretch within the back body and the back of the legs. Really stretching out our hamstrings. And with our next exhale, we'll walk the hands back towards our body. So we're going to bend the knees here, bring the bottoms of the feet to touch, setting up for butterfly pose. So nice tall spine, interlacing the hands over the feet. We'll inhale to lengthen, reach the crown of the head towards the sky, and exhale, fold forward with a nice flat back. So we're opening the hips here. We can press the elbows slightly into the thighs to open the hips a little deeper. We'll find a few beautiful breaths. With every exhale, maybe folding a little deeper, but trying not to go past your edge. We don't want to cause any injury. So just finding that edge and staying there. And with our next exhale, we'll release, help the knees back in together, and we'll just windshield wipe the knees back and forth to release those poses. And from this position, we're going to roll up and over into our tabletop pose. So shoulders over wrist, hips over knees, nice flat spine. We'll extend the right leg back, tuck the toes, and start pressing the heel back and forward. So just nice little pulses here, stretching out our hamstring. And we'll release, bring that right knee back to the left and switch. So extend left leg back, keeping the toes tucked. We're going to press that heel back and forth, just pulsing out here and stretching that hamstring. And bringing that left knee in to meet the right. We're going to bring the knees together, tucking the toes. So we want to reach back and tuck that pinky toe back, and we're going to find a toe stretch. So either keeping our way into the hands, or we could begin to walk the hands onto the thighs and keeping a nice tall spine here. So just working with what feels best for our body. This is an intense pose, so we might get halfway through here on our thighs and have to plant the hands again. So just work with where you are in your practice and find your breath. Finding a few more breaths here. And we'll release. Coming onto the hands, we're going to untuck the toes, just allow the sensations to run through, and then tap them on the mat. So keeping the feet untucked, the tops of the feet are to the mat, we're going to find an ankle stretch here. So we're going to plant the hands behind the hips and attempt to lift the knees off the mat. So feeling that stretch in the ankles and the top of the feet. So if this is too intense, you can keep the knees onto the mat. There's no shame in that, and just keep some of the weight into the hands. So working with where we are, we're going to find that breath, feeling that stretch in the feet. Typically, we do forget to stretch out the toes and the feet, so this is really important, especially if you are a repetitive runner. And remember to use that breath, breathe through any uncomfortable feelings. And with our next exhale, we're going to release. Roll the ankles and just release that pose. before coming to our tabletop pose. We'll find a few rounds of cat-cow here. So with an inhale, we'll curve through the belly, lift the gaze and the chest, and exhale, round through the spine, press into the fingertips. We'll inhale, lift the chest and the chin, and exhale, round through the spine, gaze to the knees. 3 more rounds here, moving at your own time and your own breath. So wherever you are, we'll take 1 more inhale and exhale. Coming back to that neutral tabletop position, we'll inhale here and then exhale to press back into a downward facing dog. And just taking a moment here in our down dog to walk out the legs. Option to keep a big deep bend into the knees if we're feeling tight. So we want to really press into the fingertips, elongate the spine from the crown of the head to the tip of the tailbone. We're really bringing that navel to the spine, so keeping a nice active core. We're going to inhale, lift the heels up, and exhale, press down. Inhale, lift the heels, and exhale to press down. 1 more time. We'll inhale, lift the heels up nice and high, and exhale, press them towards the earth. We're going to inhale that right leg up nice and high, and exhale, step that right foot between the hands. We'll drop the left knee for our low lunge. So we're stacking that right knee over right ankle, working left hip forward, right hip back. And we're keeping our tailbone tucked and our core engaged. So we can keep the hands placed on either side of the right foot, or we could begin to extend them towards the sky, dropping the shoulders here, making room for the neck, finding our breath. And with our exhale, we'll frame that right foot and inhale, straighten that right leg. So we do have an option to keep a bend into the knee and keep the right foot planted onto the mat, or we could roll onto the heel, flexing the toes towards the face. We'll inhale, pull the body forward, nice flat spine, and exhale, nose to knee for our half split. So in our half split, we want to square the hips to the top of our mat, and we don't want to lean to one side or the other. Finding that breath. Feeling that stretch in the back of the right leg. We're going to inhale, pull ourselves forward, tuck the back toes, exhale, downward facing dog. Just walking out our dog here, releasing that right side before we bring it over to the left. We're going to inhale, left leg up nice and high in 3-legged dog, and exhale, plant left foot between the hands for our low lunge, dropping the right knee. So we're working that right hip forward, left hip back on this side. Left knee is over left ankle, and we do have the option to extend the fingertips towards the sky. Yogi's choice, keeping the tailbone tucked, core engaged, and shoulders down if the hands are extended. Feeling that nice opening here within the hips. Nice deep stretch in the front of that right thigh. We're going to exhale, frame the left foot, and inhale, straighten the leg for our half split. So again, we have that option here if we're feeling tight to keep the foot planted and the knee bent. But if we do have the space, we're going to roll onto the heel, flex the toes towards the face, keeping the hips squared to the top of the mat. Nice flat back. Trying to reach that nose towards the left knee with every exhale that we take. With our next inhale, we're going to come forward into low lunge, tuck the right toes, and step back with an exhale into our downward facing dog. So from here, we're going to find 3 heel lifts. So inhale, lift the heels, and exhale, press them down to the earth. Inhale to lift the heels, and exhale, press down. 1 more. We'll inhale up, and exhale, press down to the earth. We're going to inhale the right leg up nice and high. Exhale, step it between the hands, staying on the ball of the left foot for our runner's lunge. Our fingertips are tented on either side of that right foot, and our spine is nice and long, reaching the crown of the head forward. Finding a few breaths here, nice and strong in that left leg, right knee over right ankle. And with our next exhale, we're going to straighten out through the right leg for our extended pyramid. So as we straighten out through that right knee, the nose comes towards that right knee, and we're staying onto the ball of the left foot. Finding our breath with every exhale, bring the nose a little closer to the knee. We're going to inhale, pull forward into our runner's lunge, and exhale, press back downward facing dog. Bring that over to the left side. We're going to inhale, left leg up nice and high, and exhale, step it between the hands for our runner's lunge, keeping our fingertips tented on the either side of the left foot, and reaching the crown of the head forward, nice flat back. That right leg is long and straight, and we're on the ball of that right foot. Taking one more breath in here. And with our next exhale, we're going to begin to straighten through that left leg, bringing the nose towards the left knee for our extended pyramid. Again, we want to stay on the ball of that right foot, staying nice and strong. With every exhale, bring the nose a little closer to the knee. We're creating space with every exhale that we take. We're going to inhale, look forward, coming into our runner's lunge, and exhale, step back into downward facing dog. Finding 3 heel lifts here. We're going to inhale to lift the heels up nice and high, and exhale, press down. Inhale to lift up nice and high, and exhale, press down. One more round. We'll inhale the heels up, and exhale, press them down towards the earth. We're going to look towards the top of our mat and walk the feet up towards the hands for our forward fold. So keeping a generous bend in the knees here if we are feeling tight in the hamstrings. We can keep the fingertips on the mat and just sway side to side here, releasing the hips, releasing the back of the legs and the lower back. Nice slow movements here, side to side. We're going to inhale for a half lift, flat back, reach the crown of the head forward, exhale to fold. We're going to inhale, roll up the length of the spine, coming to our Tadasana, or just standing at the top of our mat. So we're going to come into a cross leg forward fold. So bringing the left foot behind the right, so it's on the outside of our right foot. We're going to bring our hands to our hips, squaring the hips and chest towards the front. We'll inhale, reach the crown of the head up towards the sky, and exhale to hinge at the hips, forward fold, bringing the hands down to the mat and the nose towards the knees. So we're going to find 8 full belly breaths here. So really bring the breath to the back of the legs, and with every exhale, try to fold just a little deeper. With our last exhale, we'll bring our hands to the hips and begin to come back up to standing, uncrossing the legs. We'll bring that over to the other side. So bringing that right foot behind the left and bring it to the outside of our left foot. We'll bring our hands to our hips. We'll inhale, reach the crown of the head towards the sky, and exhale to fold. With a nice flat back, we're bringing our hands towards the mat. And again, with every exhale, try to fold a little deeper as we create more space within the body. Finding 8 belly breaths. So we're going to look forward, bring the hands to the hips, and begin to slowly come up to standing, squeezing the core. We'll uncross that right leg and just shake out the legs. So we're going to flow down onto the mat. So we're going to inhale the hands up overhead, gaze looks up, and exhale to hinge at the hips, forward fold. We'll inhale for a half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. We're going to plant the hands, step back into plank, and lower chaturanga from the toes or the knees. So we're pulling ourselves forward and exhaling to lower down onto the belly, hugging the elbows to the ribs. So we're going to bring our left hand or our left forearm parallel with the short edge of our mat. We're going to bend the right knee and reach around with the right hand to grab the right foot and pull it in. Pull the right heel in towards our bum. So we're going to have a nice quad stretch here, finding 10 breaths. So just trying to find some relaxation here. You should be able to feel an opening within the shoulder as well, reaching back for that foot. Nice deep belly breaths here. And we'll release that right foot and bring that right on over to the other side. So bringing the right forearm parallel with the short edge of our mat, we'll bend in the left knee and reach around with the left hand and grab the foot, bringing that left heel in towards the bum. So finding that quad stretch, 10 full belly breaths. I'm just taking a few more breaths here. And we'll release that foot. So we're going to bring our hands stack on top of each other and just bring the forehead down for 2 breaths. And when you're ready, we're going to push up onto the elbows. So our elbows are underneath the shoulders. Fingertips reach for the top of our mat. Palms are down for our Sphinx pose. So lifting the chest, the crown of the head reaches towards the sky. Tops of the feet are down. Shoulders are down and away from the ears. You could stay here for a couple breaths. But if we wanted to go deeper, we could walk our hands out just a little bit, turning our thumbs towards each other. We're going to straighten out the arms, pressing up into seal pose. So straightening the arms, lifting the belly off of the mat. Shoulders are down. Taking 3 more big belly breaths here. And releasing forehead down to the mat. We'll press up into tabletop, bringing our knees mat distance apart, big toes a touch. We're going to press the sit bones back to the heels, walking the fingertips forward and bringing the forehead down to our mat for our child's pose. This is our last pose of this class. So just taking time here to relax, really ground down into this pose, bringing ourselves back to our natural breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. I just want to take this time while we're here in this relaxing child's pose to thank you for tuning into this video, for practicing with me, and for sharing your yoga journey. Again, if you did like this video and you want to see more content from me, please click the subscribe button and like this video. So we'll take 3 more deep belly breaths here. And we'll press up and come to a comfortable seated position, crossing the legs in our easy seated pose or Sukhasana. We'll take a few breaths here together as a community. Inhale the hands forward and exhale down for heart center. Inhale, reach the fingertips towards the sky, and exhale here, hands to heart center. Inhale the fingertips up and exhale down. Again, thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.